Okay.
So that's nothing bad.
Okay.
That may not be
So that's like
typical,
on the
but
way to
yeah,
on the way to solid.
Yeah,
Okay.
Can I just look at your abdomen? You know what? I think that I know we keep talking about, is the steroids causing the white blood cell count to go up or not? Still the tenderness over here the most.
Yeah, but you're barely touching. I can barely even feel you touching.
But it's more over here. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't need to press too hard. That's good.
And then there are, a lot of it is past where my colon is, just the abdominal wall, like I've said repeatedly, I guess,
Right.
just from the pulling apart.
Yeah, I mean, the healing, what you see on the outside, that heals first. The healing on the inside is what
Slower.
takes a lot longer. I mean, if you cut yourself all the way through your skin, yeah, sure, you can sew up the outside, but the inside still
Correct.
needs to. So, I don't want to, I think we can continue the intravenous steroids, but I want to drop the dose to, today.
Well, Dr. Hawkins already dropped the
From yesterday? So I hadn't talked to him today.
He was going to switch me from 60 Q6 to 60 Q8.
Well, I think we can go to once a day, because when someone's on the amount of, how, I think that once a day for now is going to be enough to, how much benefit you're getting from, say, 120 milligrams or 160 milligrams versus 60 milligrams, probably not much, or not much usually for ulcerative colitis and inflammatory bowel disease. So I would recommend we go to 60 a day and see, because typically the dose of prednisone you would go home on would be a total of 40 to 60 a day.
We discussed that.
Anyway, so that's pretty much, it's pretty equivalent what you're getting IV to that. So I think we go to that dose, because then it also, if we lower the dose and the white blood cell count is going down, well, then that kind of gives us our answer with that too. So that's what I would recommend, just going right to 60.
Okay. I feel like Dr. Trey approached that differently yesterday.
Well,
so
the reason why I'm saying, and I'll talk to Dr. Trade about it, but the reason why I'm, it wasn't like you were on 40 equivalent of prednisone when we think this flare-up happened.
Right.
You were on a pretty low dose, so.
I was on nothing.
Right. But even before, leading up to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But, so it'd be one thing if you were on 60 and we said, well, we're just going to keep you on 60, even though you flared up on that. So the fact that the white blood cell count is elevated is why I'm leaning towards that strategy more, because if you're not feeling worse, we know you're not 100% better by no means, but if you're not feeling worse, then, something else causing that white blood cell count is a little less likely. So,
very true.
It could be the steroids. I know we keep kind of going back to that, but the dose of steroids you're on definitely can, in a healthy person, what's called your bone marrow, where those cells come from, the steroids definitely rev that up. So,
yeah.
I'll talk to Dr. Hawkins, Dr. Trait. I was over here today, so Dr. Trait asked me to stop by.
I appreciate that.
But that would be my rationale for going to like I said, by no means is 60 a low dose. It's just.
No, and this morning in my discussion with Dr. Hawkins, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Not at all, you didn't.
He, in asking what he saw as an appropriate dosage orally for me to be on when I leave here.
Right.
Because I've had colitis for,
Right.
30 years. I'm used to tapering down. But given that I've been on 60 milligrams 6 times a day, and then he says, he'd like to really see me at 30, 40 a day going home.
Yeah.
That to me means a lot of days in the hospital to get me down to
Well, my
that dosage.
my strategy would go to 40 or go to
60 once a day.
Once a day, and then go to either 40 or 60 milligrams of prednisone. I think, that range would be, with your history.
Right.
But I wouldn't go higher than that.
Combined with, now I'm taking sulfasalazine as well.
Right. So, I think somewhere in that 40 to 60 range is what I would want to have you go home on.
I'm very familiar with that.
But I think, first dropping down pretty quick from the IV is what I would recommend.
Okay. That's Dr. Lionel and, Dr. Trait yesterday and Dr. Hawkins. They were of the opinion that dropping so rapidly here before on Solu-Medrol is what kind of enraged the flare.
Well, you didn't drop you were here, it was over a number of weeks is what it was. So, it wasn't one day to the next.
Yeah, I don't know specific. I do know Dr. Trait said, he thought that the